I'm gonna jump on everything all at once. That way I get the most gain. Really don't need to see tricep extensions. Actually, some of you I do, because you look like you're skiing. I love it that I gotta like preemptively argue with people, because you know the argument's coming. It's like, you know, there's just people waiting on the sidelines, just waiting for you to say something that I'm triggered.
Why it's important to stay humble, going through everything I have been through, is knowing that we're only one injury away from it all being over.
Yeah, but a lot of people try to like do way too much. You don't need a bunch of variations. Most people need less variations. It's like they just come into the gym to entertain themselves, which is fine if that's your goal. But if you're really trying to get better at specific movements, you need to do those movements over and over and over again. Like, how do you gauge progress? Same thing with like steroid use. Guys will like jump on 6 different things and be like, oh, this cycle's amazing. I'm like, well, how do you know what's working and what's not? It blows my mind. Like the argument that your first steroid cycle is your best steroid cycle, so you need to gain as much as you can out of it. So, and it's like, dude, less is more. I'm gonna jump on everything all at once. That way I get the most gains. Don't ever go on to like YouTube and type in like, what should I expect after a surgery? Because I was looking up like post-kidney transplant, and like the only people that are making videos are like, I'm sorry if you're watching this, but you're weak. Like they're weak-minded, you know what I mean? Just like feel sorry for themselves. Every surgery I've had, I've gone on and what to expect, and it's all these fucking crybabies, and it ends up being a lot easier than what they think they tell me to do. Oh, I couldn't do this, and it was so hard and painful, and I do it, and I'm like, really? Like one girl lost her kidney transplant, or it started going into failure, and it was like, yeah, I stopped taking my anti-rejection meds. The fuck? That's like rule number 1 when they give you a transplant. Don't stop taking the meds. They were making me feel nauseous. I was like, bitch, if nausea was my only complaint, I had a client tell me that one time. He's like, I just have a hard time eating. I just can't eat it. And I'm like, dude, I don't want, you're talking to a guy that at periods of like months in a row would eat breakfast, go throw up, and then have to eat it again. Same breakfast, 4 eggs and some toast, because I threw it up. Like, don't tell me, oh, I just don't feel like eating. I'm like, well, I hope it sticks this time. But that's another guy that's, oh, it's easier if all I had to do was work out, eat, and sleep. I'm like, dude, you create the life you want to live. You want to be a factory worker? Go be a factory worker. You want to work at a restaurant? That's cool. But don't complain about you don't have time. Like the rest of us, like, dude, I built my whole life around fitness because it was that important to me. And I had people tell me, oh, you're not going to make a lot of money as a trainer. And guess what? They were right. But I found ways to make it work. Everybody comments about the music at the gym. Like, the heavy metal guys hate the rap, and the rap hate the heavy metal, and then my older clients hate everything. And you're just like, dude. Yeah, I spent years in a nightclub just drowning out the background noise. So I don't even hear it anymore. No, but like I would be training at my old studio and like not turn the music on, and I just like the silence of it and like lifting the weights. And then like one of the other trainers would walk in and be like, you fucking psycho, you're just sitting here in the quiet? I'm like, yeah, I like it that way. The secret when you have bad shoulders, push that motherfucker all the way back. That way it ain't pinching your ass. Much better. And the spotlight is just perfectly in my eyes. Yeah, but weights when you're talking about an accessory movement is kind of irrelevant. Like, it's good to track so that way you know that you're making progress, but if you're like, oh, incline plate, 5 plates, it's like people associate that with a 5 plate free weight, but it's not even close. Dude, here's a secret. This is it. Not every influencer is going to tell you this. All these like templated programs, they all fucking work. Most of them, if they have any thought involved. But like, for the most part, if like the actual person who is successful is writing them, then they usually work. It's not a big difference between what program you're running. You know, the difference is, are you actually applying the intensity that you need to? Are you resting when you need to? Are you eating the way you need to? And just genetics, dude. Some people are gonna get a lot more out of it than others. And they talk about percentage of gains, and you look at research, and it's like 0.005%. So it's like 0.005% got better off this program versus this other program. So is it really worth the argument when it's like that little of a change? No, they all work. All this coaching business is a scam. But it's not, because people need that help, you know? And even there's a reason Olympic lifters and Olympic athletes all have coaches. Like, it's just that extra set of eyes, but also like you start to doubt yourself when someone's like, no, dude, you can do it. Like, you got to do it this way, because you'll doubt yourself every time. I'll say it does take some time to like figure out what works best for you. Is it a 4-day split? Is it a 5-day split? Is it a 3-day split? And there'll be periods where one fits better than the other, and then you have to switch. You know, what you did to bench 400 pounds is not the same journey you're gonna take to bench 500 pounds. And it's gonna change again when you wanna bench 600. It's like, the higher the intensities get, the different the strategies have to become. Because you can't bench 3 days a week when you're benching over 500 pounds. And if you're benching under 400 pounds, you probably won't be benching only 1 day a week. One chest day, like that doesn't make a lot of sense at that level. You'll have guys that are entry level doing Olympia level bodybuilding splits, and you're like, well, this guy does it. I'm like, yeah, but he didn't start there. And are you doing everything else he's doing? Because I doubt you can afford 15 IUs of growth hormone. Because I know what that costs. Woo! That was for skinny guys. I had it on the slim fit setting. Drugs are more accessible now. Like 15 years ago, you couldn't find real growth hormone. Like, it was only medically prescribed. Now you could get raw powders from overseas, and a lot of guys can get access to at least a source of growth hormone. How pure it is, you know, I've had prescription grade where I could take 2 IUs of growth hormone versus, you know, some of this generic stuff I have to take 4 IUs of it to get the same response. But I don't, if I would, like some of these guys I talk to that are on dialysis, it's so catabolic and so destructive, they waste away in a year. And they're like, what did you do? You know, like, how did you maintain through it? And I'm honest with them. I'm like, dude, I got on testosterone, like prescription. You know, without that, there's no way I'd be able to work out. But it's needed medically. Like, I don't know why more guys don't take it on dialysis. I had like a guy, when I first started talking about, no nephrologist would prescribe you testosterone. I'm like, yeah, I didn't get it from a nephrologist. I went to a urologist. Because guess what, dude? Not all doctors have all the answers. And you guys think that testosterone is this destructive force, but yet it makes me feel so much better on, why am I doing so much better on dialysis? Versus these guys that like waste away and are literally dying because of their numbers are dropping so low. But it is interesting, like certain people will always find a way to make it happen, while other people's always allow things to get in the way. It's like, I don't like to call it making excuses. It's like seeing family is important. Taking time off when needed is important, but you got to factor that into a program and not just do it when you feel like. But it is interesting to me, like the people that are successful and not. Like, you're either built or you're not. You're either strong or you're not. So like you see these guys and like they don't change year after year after year. They don't change. But they have all these reasons why. It's generally the people that aren't very happy with their life that have these reasons why. Because like, you know, level of success is just a matter of mind. Like, I'm happy with where I'm at. But the people that aren't happy with where they're at, they generally aren't happy at work or happy with their life or happy with their wife, whatever the fuck it is, in relationship or career that they spend the time where they're not getting much out of it. So my point is the mentality has nothing to do with like your physical stature. Like being ripped doesn't mean you're successful. I'm talking about just people that are happy. Because there's people that are out of shape that are happy, but they're just like, yeah, I drink too much, but that's what I want to do. Okay, cool. Cool. You're doing what you want to do. You're not making excuses for why you're not there. That's my point. I'm like the anti-influencer. I like the people that are like, your program isn't going to make a difference. The gear you take is going to help a little bit. People that are like being real out there. Like the shirts that are like, the shirts that are saying like, no one cares, work harder. Because that's the reality. Everybody thinks they're special and meant for a bigger purpose, and it's like, no, you're not. I just know I have more to give. And they just like, if I could just figure this one part out, I'll have it all figured out. No, that's not it. That's not what's holding you back. It's a shitty attitude, a bad work ethic, and this delusion that you're meant for something greater. All right, now we're just getting old school. Gotta fucking make sure it ain't going on. Ooh, as advertised, shaky. Because from my point of view, it's like a fighter pilot going down. I'm like, you must pull up. It's funny to me though that there's people that, and I know half of them are joking, but when I got sick, they're like, oh yeah, now I can catch up to you, and now you're doing my numbers, and I'm like, enjoy it while it lasts, motherfucker. So here we are, like, I'm about to get my transplant, we're gonna see what happens. You had your chance. And if I fucking beat you after a transplant, like, bro, it's like a lose-lose situation for all you guys. Either you compared yourself to me and lost, which is like not saying much, or you beat a guy that been through a hell of a lot, not saying much. You don't need to film every set. Yeah, you need to film like your heavy shit and things you have questions about. I'll take on new clients and they'll literally send me every video of everything I sent them for the day. Like one set at each station. I'm like, dude, I really don't need to see tricep extensions. Actually, some of you I do, because you look like you're skiing. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? At that point, you don't need a coach, you need a personal trainer. If you need help on every single movement, coaches are meant for advanced lifters, not beginning lifters. Beginning lifters need trainers. You need to be trained how to lift before you get coached. What do you say? Like it's photoshopped or?
No, you can get surgery and have permanent abs.
Oh, surgery for abs now.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.